So close your eyes and take a ride into the night. Oh baby, I got a lot in store for you.
Condolences to the Currys. Never marry a woman who thinks she's better than you.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Stan the Man Griffin. This is another episode of the Hear Me Out podcast. As you've seen at the top of the videos, there was Kevin Samuels talking about condolences to the Currys, and he was referring to the conduct of Stephen Curry's wife, Ayesha Curry. And this video was made 2 years ago, but lately she's been on the airways again and the internet, making her husband look bad, saying bad things about her husband. And this is something that I really took my time, whether I really wanted to even speak on the subject, because I had to really listen a little bit more to see if it really mattered. And it does matter, especially to you men out there who have goals and you have dreams and goals that you're pursuing in life. Choosing the wrong woman can be destructive to everything that you put your heart and soul into to accomplish. And dragging someone along with you to the top or pinnacle of success and then having them explode like that in public is damaging to your reputation. And this is what is going on with Ayesha Curry and Stephen Curry. He's the famous champion basketball player, the greatest three-point shooter ever, and some people say the greatest shooter God ever created. This man is a Christian, and he's a very well-grounded person, and he is a faithful person. You don't hear anything about Stephen Curry out there cheating on Ayesha or anything like that, so it just makes no sense whatsoever that she is in the media as she is, saying these things that are just irrelevant to their life. But it may have some relevance to her, because let's get into the video with Kevin Samuels, and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking to. Let's take a listen.
All right, guys, I'm just going to get right into this. This one hits home for me because I've seen it so often. I've counseled with guys through divorce care, through Christian ministries, through breakups, through so many things. And I've seen so many guys that have actually married a woman they absolutely adore. But the woman thinks she's better than you. And ultimately, she's jealous of you. Avoid women who think they are better than you, because you can never make them happy. And here's the thing. As your success continues to rise, their anger, their resentment, their animosity towards you will continue to rise. So outwardly, people look at you and say, she's so lucky to have this man. He's a multimillionaire, a good family man, all these other things. And all she's sitting there and saying, it should be me. I'm better than him. Especially, this really runs deep, especially in women who are failed actresses and failed models. When you meet a woman who is a struggling local actress, struggling local model, attractive, but she just doesn't have that it factor. You can kick it with her, you can date her, you can hang out with her, but do not make any kind of commitment to her. And for God's sake, don't marry her or have any children. Because one, she is always going to have in her mind any kind of weight I put on, anything that happens is going to potentially hurt this non-existent career she's dreaming about, this fame that she wants, this thing that she cannot have. And especially if you're like Steph Curry and you actually attained it. He married his high school sweetheart. He was a teenage boy and she was a teenage girl. That 15-year-old boy was ecstatic to have that gorgeous girl, because she actually grew into her womanness before he grew into his manness. He has finally grown into his man's body, into his man's mind, and become the man a lot of people saw in him. She's still looking at him as the same little boy who was blowing her kisses and kissing her ass as a teenager. And that's what...
What Kevin Samuels was saying right there in that particular clip is absolutely 100% true. You really can't marry a woman that thinks that she is better than you, because if she actually feels that way about you, it is eventually going to sour the complete relationship, and she's going to want to move on. No matter how great of a man you are, no matter how popular you are, no matter how rich you are, how talented you are, if she thinks that she is better than you, she will destroy that relationship eventually. That is who she is, and you cannot change that. You, as a man, have to pick a woman that wants to follow you. If they do not want to follow your lead and believe in the things that you are trying to accomplish in life, do not marry them. I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. Don't marry a woman who thinks that she's better than you, or she will try to destroy you eventually, because that's who she is. She's felt slighted by you. It doesn't matter if you become super rich and super famous. In her heart, you are nothing to her, and you will never be good enough for her. That is just how it is. Men, you need to think about that. If you are with a woman and you're trying to convince her who you are already behind the 8 ball. You are behind the 8 ball in that relationship, and it's a losing battle. It's an uphill losing battle from that point on. If she thinks that you are not good enough for her, and she thinks that she can do better, it doesn't matter how rich or famous you become. That will always be in her. It will be in her, because women don't think about things logically. They are emotional about it. Men, don't marry the love of your life. Marry the woman that fits into your vision and the plan that God has put forth for you to follow in your life. Don't marry the love of your life. Marry the woman that fits into the vision, that fits your mission in life, that fits your plans in life, that wants to be a part of the plans that you have laid out for her. Here's another thing. When you meet a woman, ladies, men, gentlemen, when you meet a lady and you tell her your dreams and your goals and what you're wanting to accomplish, and she says to you, "What does that have to do with me?" Walk away from her, because she's telling you the truth. She's letting you know your plans don't mean squat to her. They don't have anything to do with her, because she can't see herself being a part of your vision and your goals. She can't see it. It's not there. So walk away. If you tell a woman your plans and your goals and your visions, and you share your dreams with her, and she says, "What does that have to do with you? Do with her?" Walk away. Walk away. I'm telling you, for your own good. I've been there, done that. Walk away and leave her alone, because she will not ever respect you. And no matter how successful you become, she's going to try to destroy you in the end. That's who she is, because she doesn't have any real respect for you. Let's continue.
And that's what you saw come out. That's what it is. It wasn't that she wants more attention. It wasn't that she wants more guys on her DM. She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there. Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was. Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I fear is going to happen. I fear this is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him. It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable. She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people are actually looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? So she's going to have to pipe down. She's not going to be able to say much about anything, but it is going to tear her apart, tear him apart, because at the end of the day, she thinks she's up here and she thinks he's down here. It is not going to change. She does not view Steph Curry as the NBA All-Star world champion basketball player. She views Steph Curry as this guy that her mom and dad and her parents told her, you need to marry and secure the bag. She didn't want to be there. She would have rather been a struggling actress in Hollywood, trying to get bit parts in commercials, trying to get pickups in TV, trying to be an extra here, or try to get a print commercial or something, while ended up dating whoever. Honestly, she'd have been happier that way. I know too many women like this. Trust me, I've seen this in my life. There are women like her who are above average looking. Let's be honest, she's not that fine. I mean, she's attractive, but she ain't model fine. She's pretty, but she ain't all that. She can't handle it. She's not built for it, but she thinks she is. She can't even handle the overflow traffic she gets from her husband. What the hell makes her think she could handle it in the spotlight? But the problem is she's too close to the sun. She's close enough to where she actually thinks she could do just fine. And the bad thing is she's seen too many women kind of do this kind of thing. Look what Kamora Lee Simmons did. She actually has had a reasonably successful career, but she was a model, a supermodel in somebody's eyes, but a model nonetheless. What has Ayesha Curry done? Other than being married to Steph Curry. But that's not going to change anything. This is going to nag at her, nag at them, until she ends up. Now there's another possible alternative. Steph could try to work behind the scenes with some Hollywood producer, friend, family, and try to throw some work her way and try to get her in Hollywood. But you know what? It'll even be worse, because honestly, when she gets up on the screen and it shows that she doesn't have the chops, shows that she doesn't have that it factor, then you have to deal with the fallout of that. When you marry a woman who thinks she's better than you, when you're with somebody who is ultimately going to be jealous of you, who can't play their role, does not like the spotlight being on you, you're signing up for a life of misery. There's going to be this passive aggressive, low level contempt for you, because at the end of the day, you're really not what she wanted. You're not what she wanted to do. She wanted something completely else, and she's living a life that somebody else planned for her. And even though it's probably the best thing for her, she thinks she can do better. Till the next time, talk at you.
How did being in the spotlight impact your relationship in the early days? Because you guys didn't know how to handle it.
It's a double-edged sword, because parts of it have afforded me doors to be open. I obviously have to walk through them and then put in the work to stay in the room. But that, I think, would be the elephant in the room, is like, I'm grateful for that side of things. But on the flip side, I in the beginning hated it so much. I did not sign up for that. I also always thought, I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. I thought I was going to be the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. And so it just it was weird. And sports fans are so different than maybe entertainment world fans. And oftentimes it's very ruthless. And so I think I wasn't expecting that either. I remember one time right after my first was born, she was whiny. So I was like, let me just nurse her in the back seat. And Stefan was putting a bike or something in the trunk. And this woman opens the car door and she sticks her head in and she's like, I just wanted to see the baby. And I'm like, excuse me. And she looks me dead in my face and goes, oh, honey, you know what you signed up for. And then shuts the door on me. And I was just crying because I was postpartum. I was just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what? Is this what it's going to be like?
Wow.
And so the beginning phases were
Yeah.
kind of scary for me. There was this thing going around that said there's two things. It was like that I look like SpongeBob's mom. Just look it up after.
Okay.
I felt that way. So then seeing it, I was like, damn.
No.
What else? I think because he's like known for shooting threes, people will say something all the time like, oh, he shoots threes on and off the court. And I'm like, come on.
Well, first of all, 3 plus like a million. Like, you were like so fucking stunning and gorgeous.
Thank you.
Like,
sweet.
I don't need to say that to you, but I have to say it because it's also like the people that are writing it are probably threes, but not you.
Oh, that's too funny. She's talking about, they were saying that she looked like SpongeBob's mom. That is too funny. Oh boy, SpongeBob's mom. Okay. Look, there's some things in that clip right there that you should really take notice of. Part of it is partially that she does have some type of legitimate argument about things that have happened that were wrong, and that's just part of being married to a celebrity. But the other part of it is that you need to take notice is that she said with her own mouth that she thought that he was just going to be a high school basketball coach. A high school basketball coach. Steph Curry, a high school basketball coach. That's all he was ever going to amount to be, and she was supposed to be the movie star. The movie star. So there is, Kevin Samuel said it, there is some jealousy there that you have this woman who thought that she was going to be the movie star and it never panned out. Now she has this famous husband who's the greatest shooter God ever created as far as most people are concerned. I mean, I've seen the dude hit ridiculous shots from behind half court. Throw the ball up and then turn around, start walking the other way before you even see it hits goes through because he knows it's going in. That's how just insane his ability is as far as shooting the basketball. Well, you have to know what you signed up for. And the woman that told her that when she was feeding her baby and said, well, you know what you signed up for. And even though that was a terrible thing for her to say while she was breastfeeding her child and open the door like that, which is really rude too. But the woman did have a point. You signed up for this when you married a guy like Steph Curry, who is successful as he is. The guy's probably worth $300-400 million now. Probably by the time he retires, he's going to be worth about $600 or $700 million. Well, there's worse things that could have happened to Ayesha if she had married somebody else or not got married at all. Because, look, Kevin said it best. She's a good-looking woman, but she's not a 10. And who's to say that she's that good of an actor? Now, if she had the chops to be the actor that she claimed that she wanted to be, I think what had happened, I think she never would have gotten married if she knew that she really had the chops. She married a guy that she knew had some skills, next level skills, and she married him, and it all panned out. He became the guy that she knew that he would become, but she is still jealous of him. She is jealous of him. And there's a clip also where she's on Red Table Talk with Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett, talking about he gets all this attention and everything. And I would just like to know if some guys are paying any attention to me, if any guys out there that are paying it. Really, does it really matter? Does it matter? You're married. Does it matter? Look, women have always been attracted to successful men. And they don't care if he's married. They'll wreck a marriage in a heartbeat. That's just the nature of some women. Not all women are like that. But that's the nature of plenty of women out there. They'd wreck a marriage in a heartbeat if they could get to a guy with some money. If they could get to a guy with some money, they'd wreck his marriage in a heartbeat. That's just who they are. Steph Curry is not like that. I mean, he's a very devout Christian man. and he takes his relationship with God very seriously. So he's not that type of person at all. But for her to get on these different talk shows, podcasts, and start talking crazy like that is just saying that she's not happy where she's at. And the problem is when men drag people into their lives, when men who have a vision, have a plan, and you drag a woman in that really doesn't want to be there because she has her own goals, it's a detriment to the rest of your life. You're going to be fighting with that woman over things that you shouldn't have to fight with anybody over the things that you're going to be fighting with her about. And Kevin was right. Kevin Samuels was right in that clip. She thinks that she's better than him. It's just there. It shows up in every time she does an interview on one of these podcasts. It shows up. And Kevin has been dead for several years now, and he's seen it a long time ago, and he was 100% right. Men, when you have goals, and you have dreams and goals and visions, and if that woman does not see the same thing that you see, then you're dragging somebody along that should not be there. And when you hit the pinnacle of success, it's happened many times with many men. Look at Will Smith with Jada Pinkett. She was in love with Tupac. She was in love with Tupac. An imaginary relationship that really never was there. She was in love with him, but he wasn't in love with her, or he would have married her. But Will Smith has accomplished more in life than Tupac ever would have accomplished. That's just a fact, because Will Smith had that crossover bill. Now he's ruined his life. He's ruined his popularity and his fame by going up on stage in the Oscars tonight and smacking Chris Rock. That has just deadened his whole popularity, and it will not recover until he does something about it, until he flies Chris Rock out, has a press conference, and apologizes to Chris Rock in front of the whole world while Chris is there. That is the only thing that will mend his reputation, because it's done for. It's done for. That is marrying a woman that caused you to act out of character at the pinnacle of your success, and now your reputation is ruined. Will Smith is the perfect example of that. And this woman sits there and talks about like Tupac was the god of the universe. She talks like he was her everything. And Will Smith is just tuna fish. He's just a can of sardines, you know? Like Tupac was the prime rib steak and Will Smith was a can of sardines. And Will Smith has accomplished more than Tupac would ever have accomplished in his life, even if he had lived. It's just a fact. He has that cross. He had that magnitude of a crossover appeal that appealed to white people, that appealed to just everybody. I talked to a woman on the phone that I was trying to get a website built, and she started talking about, well, this was back in 2011. And this lady loved her some Will Smith. She thought he could do no wrong. And many people felt that way about Will Smith. Everything he touched turned to gold.
To have more compassion and more understanding.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then, like, I begin to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're not looking.
What?
You're not
Like,
looking. You're not even. But I'm gonna tell you something else too. When your radar's turned off, because I dealt with that for years too. Like, and I was young, like you.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh my
not
God.
fair.
I mean,
because I don't want it, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to know that, like,
someone's looking.
But
that
when
can
your
get
radar's
dangerous.
turned off,
Right,
that
you're
can get
beautiful.
real
Don't
dangerous.
ever think for 1 minute that it ain't some men out there looking at you like I wish.
Honestly.
And I'm gonna tell you who knows that more than anybody. Your husband.
And on
I want to ask a question now. All of you made the decision not to travel.
Let me say this about the last clip that you just seen at the Red Table Talk with Ayesha there with Jada Pinkett and the rest of the ladies that are there. Why in the heck would you go on to the Red Table Talk and take advice from a woman who cheated on her husband with her son's best friend? Why would you take advice from a failure, from a cheater? That's like getting married to a woman and then the guy that you go to for advice about marriage has cheated on his wife 4 or 5 times. What in the heck can that guy tell you about having a successful marriage when he don't know how to keep his dick in his pants? Why would a woman go to another woman who can't keep her legs closed? Who had the gall, the unmitigated gall to have sex with her son's best friend. And you gonna go to her and take advice? What is the world coming to? Are you people stupid? That's like the volcano asking the erupting volcano, how do I keep myself from erupting? One volcano who has never erupted doesn't want to erupt and asks the volcano who erupts all the time, how do I keep myself from erupting? That is just insane. It's insane. Are you people stupid? Why would you take advice from somebody a failure? That's like trying to take business advice from a bum that's living on the streets. He can't tell you anything. Gosh, people, wake up. Wake up. You don't take advice. If you're a woman who has a good marriage and a man has never cheated on you, why are you going to take advice from a whore? I know that just hit home with a lot of people. I know that's probably just to tick some people off. But logic is logic, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Of course, I'm a guy, so I'm gonna think in the very logical terms. But why would I take advice from a guy that's on the street that's a bum on the street and then ask him how to have a successful business, how to have a successful life? As if he would know. Why would you take advice from a woman who cheated on her husband with her son's best friend? Gee. People need to wake up. But that's how I see it. Look, men, and I'm talking to you men out there. God has placed in your life things that you want to accomplish, that you are supposed to accomplish in this lifetime. And if the woman that you are with and you haven't married her yet, it's not too late to walk away. But if you married her, you're stuck now. You're stuck. But if you haven't married her and she doesn't see your vision, walk away from her, because you did not marry for beauty. You do not marry for how good the sex is. You marry the woman that can see your vision, that wants to get on your program and lead you to the promised land. That's how you get a good relationship. Don't marry the love of your life. Marry the woman that fits the vision, the mission that you have. And unfortunately, people end up marrying women that don't fit their vision and the purpose. And I've done it too. I've been divorced for over 30 something years now. But that's giving you my age. I'm a middle-aged man. But I'm sorry, I said 30 something years. Actually, so it's 27 years. But it's getting there, close. But again, I've learned my message. I learned my lesson. I learned it. You can't drag people with you. You can't drag somebody into your visions and your goals. If they can't see it, walk away. Walk away and wait on God to send you the right one that can see it. And when you find the right one, then you'll know it. You'll know it because she'll see your vision, she'll see your goals, and she'll want to help you out. I'm gonna read something for you before I go, and this is from Proverbs, the 31st chapter, verses 10 through 1 in the Bible, verses 10 through 31 in the Bible, and it's called the virtuous woman, the virtuous wife. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hands to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up early and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Now, I wanted to read that to you because that's in Proverbs, the 31st chapter, verses 10 through 31, to the end of the chapter. And this is a woman that is industrious in her own home. She takes care of her own home. She doesn't worry about what the woman next door is doing with her husband, or she's not a busybody. She is diligently watching over her own household. That is a woman that you can trust, and her husband doth safely trust in her. And it says that she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. You can build with a woman like that. God put that in there because throughout the Bible, we have always had the standard of what God expects men to be. But the Bible doesn't touch completely on what he expects a woman to be, except in these verses in Proverbs, the 31st chapter, verses 10 through 31. And it gives a clear-cut vision, a clear-cut desire of God's heart of how he wants a woman to act and how she is to conduct herself. You're not going to build with a whore. You're not going to build with a woman who's a busybody, who's always worrying about what the neighbor is doing. You're not going to build a good life with that type of woman. And for you men out there, you better listen. You better understand that the woman that you choose, if she ain't got her act together and she's a busybody and she doesn't see your vision and your goals and she's not willing to help you build, she is useless to you. Useless. The greatest women in the world are the women that pay attention to their own household, the needs of their husband, and the needs of their own children, and helps her husband build. That is something that a lot of women don't like to do today. They say, why should I help a man build? If he ain't got it, that's his problem. Well, you'll never have it either. Men look for a woman who is industrious, who sees your vision. Because if you don't, I'm afraid you're going to end up, and maybe you'll get to the pinnacle of your success and it'll all blow up in your face because of the woman you chose. Just like Will Smith. You may not like that, but that's the truth. God bless. Get to know God. But God just doesn't know everything. God is everything. God has all the answers to the problems. I'm not pointing you to myself. I'm not pointing you to anybody else except Jesus Christ, okay? God bless you. You have a wonderful night or day or whenever you're looking at this. Be blessed.
If you only knew what I have in store for you, baby. If you only knew what I have in store for you, baby. Yeah. Girl, look